Welcome everyone to our first ever episode of the Blurred Box podcast. This is a
Yay!
weird, strange experience for us. Forgive us for being strange and awkward. We're 4 online high school students with Stanford University Online High School. Do you guys want to say what our school is? Haven, bring up the homepage.
Sure.
And describe what it is.
Yeah. Stanford Online High School, according to their website, is a online school where dedicated instructors help talented students, allegedly, worldwide pursue their passions in real-time online seminars.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Haven.
Thank you, guys.
It's original.
I forget sometimes that it's worldwide, but I know Chloe is halfway across the world right now.
Yeah, so this works weirdly for us because all 3... Okay, we should probably say who's here. Sophie's here.
Hi.
And then Pooja's here too.
Hi, I'm Pooja. I'm a junior at OHS.
Oh yeah, I should probably say that. I'm a sophomore at OHS. Hi, I'm Sophie.
And then loop back around to Haven, who's kindly introduced what our school is.
Yes, I'm Haven. I'm a senior at OHS.
And
Chloe?
I'm a junior, but my grades have been weird, so I don't have to describe my whole situation. But yeah, so this is our team. We'll probably just be posting episodes every second week, and our episodes just will consist of us, a group of friends, catching up with each other and just talking about any topics ranging from world events, school life, human rights, and I don't know, personal stuff that I don't know you might have. Stories.
So broad. I love it.
Yeah, just a wide range of topics.
Human rights and personal life.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely get to that. I mean, if you guys
never know what you're gonna get.
Juicy gossip, exactly. Well, so today we're just gonna go a bit into who we are first as an introduction, since we're new to this, and explain kind of as well how our online school works, what it's like, and how it differs for each of us. Since our school has these we have full-time, part-time, and single course students. So, and we have all 3 of them here. So I guess
single course represent.
Yeah, and then Sophie's single course. Pooja, what course
I'm
are you?
full course, so I take 5 courses at OHS.
Perfect.
I'm full-time, yeah.
And then I'm part-time, so I take 3.
So, do you guys want to go one by? I don't know,
We can start with single course, work our way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Sophie, how's single course for you?
It's actually really nice. So I'm taking HSC, which is the 10th grade core class, and I really love it, even though it's kind of hard. Philosophy is an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
What does HSC stand for?
Oh,
I think it's
history. It's history and philosophy of science, or history of philosophy and science. I think it's history and philosophy of science, but I think it was originally called history of science and culture, which that's why it's HSC.
I was always curious. Yeah.
Actually, when I joined the class, I was like HSP or HPS.
Yeah.
And I said that in class, and everyone was just like, "What?"
Yeah. Sorry.
And then, so I was homeschooled before I joined. OHS is my first year. So I'm technically still homeschooled. I have my own private school. We filed a PSA. So I'm still taking classes elsewhere. It could range from other online venues, community college, tutors, that kind of stuff. But yeah, OHS has been a really great part of my life, actually. I met so many new people.
What made you want to move into OHS? Move in.
So I never really wanted to. After middle school hit, I never really cared for going to school. I was pretty content with my path.
It's relatable.
Yeah, because I was accelerated in some subjects just because being homeschooled allowed the possibility to diverge from the school path. So but then as high school came around, it got really hard to find like rigorous courses and like a good social avenue and just stuff like that. So I actually applied second round application, very last minute. I took the ISEE like 2 days before the application deadline. And I just did it because I thought I really actually wanted to see what school life would be, but not actually go to a brick and mortar.
Oh,
I like that.
I love that.
Did it like
It's neat.
live up to your expectation?
Huh?
Like, did it live up to your
yes.
expectation?
Actually, I think
like...
it like exceeded my expectation. Yeah, I didn't know how.
OHS is not paying us to make this podcast.
It's like, this is 10 out of 10
No,
marketing campaign right here. But yeah, I didn't know how it was gonna work, but it actually is really engaging. The community and peers are awesome. I love all of you.
Oh.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectation in every way.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming in because, like, I came in through middle school as well. Oh wait, I did. Well, you didn't. I'm confused now. I came in through middle school, so for me it was a really weird experience because you're like, how old was I? Probably 11 years old or something.
Oh,
no,
baby
not that
Chloe.
young.
Oh, that's so tiny.
A little
I think
activist in the
probably
making.
maybe like, probably maybe actually 12 or 13. But like at that time, the computers were still like bulky and like, you know, the motor would like make a lot of noise.
Oh yeah.
So like coming onto Adobe Connect was like mind blowing for me. I'd like come on and see myself and like hear myself too. And there's like all these buttons. I was like, ooh, it's fun. And like, and it was a phys class too. So I started single course as well.
That's
but like the whole process was like just really cool for me. It was like, I've never experienced anything like that before. But then as you go from like single course to like part-time, that's when things were like, oh, okay, so this is now not as much fun. It's more like this is actually school and this is actually work. Yeah, it's still like really weird how things work, but it's definitely more flexible for like busy people and all the because like everyone in OHS is super talented and everyone's pursuing something.
And tennis is a huge part of your life. So how do you balance travel and school and everything?
Well, I guess in the same way, like Pooja's a competitive figure skater. She's like traveling all the time too, so she like knows this aspect. We're like constantly on time. We're like, if we're not studying, we're training, and if we're not training, we're sleeping, trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Or if you're not sleeping, you're making this podcast.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's like, it's not easy. It's very you have to be very disciplined. And at least for me, it was a very independent journey. Or at least I was like going from hotel room to hotel room. I had to be away from family a lot, or you know, in very dire situations, like in my academy, which like is probably a story for a different episode. But it's just a matter of knowing your priorities and being able to like manage your time well, which I'm sure Pooja does very well too. So
right.
Thanks, Chloe.
I mean, it's very true. So there's nothing to like not take credit for. Haven, do you want to like talk about what it's like part-time?
Yeah. Honestly, I can't imagine. My workload as part-time is like so nice for me because the course load is definitely rigorous, but I can actually get it done. I can't imagine honestly having a full course load of like being full-time. So props to you guys.
It means you don't have a life.
For surviving, So yeah, for balancing all of that with like the sports and everything else that you guys do. But for me, I was similar to Sophie. I was homeschooled since second grade. So homeschooled in the sense that like I did some, community college courses too, or some like kind of spotty online courses, co-ops with other homeschoolers. And I actually really enjoyed that. And then my mom made me apply for OHS, and I kicked and I fought and I like did not want to apply at all.
Wow.
I was like, I did it because I trust her.
That's true.
And because I was going into my senior year, so I was like, what do I have to lose, I guess. And I'm so grateful for it now. so grateful that she made me do it. Because I don't know, it's like you were saying, like everyone at the school does things, and everyone like really has some like form of passion about something.
It's intimidating.
Even it's something that like I do not understand at all.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it is.
Sophie, robotics, they don't make me happy.
I just joined this year, so due to OHS. This is promoting my OHS robotics team. Go FTC 5206.
But yeah, part-time's been really nice for me, and it's been nice to still be part of clubs and like work with you guys and meet different people. So yeah, that's been my experience.
So like both of you guys have
What about you, Pooja?
Like sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You can go, Chloe.
No, like I wanted to ask, like both of you guys are homeschooled, so like how does that work? Like being like, for me, when I think of homeschooled, right, it's like I've never been I don't know, I went straight from like brick and mortar experience, like being around people like 24/7, the normal thing, to going to online school. So I don't know what it's like, and there's like a lot of people as well in OHS who've done your kind of like experience. So like, what is that like?
I have a very controversial opinion on homeschooling and online schooling, which is that they're the exact same thing. And there are people at the school who hate me for saying that.
I don't agree, but continue.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll have a little back and forth then. For me, I guess for my personal homeschooling experience, it's been very similar in that a lot of it is self-driven. So like you were saying, Chloe, like the key to being able to balance your course load and everything else is knowing what your priorities are. So for me, homeschooling was like, I would go take my classes and I would, try to fill that up with school and everything, but then I would figure out what other priorities I had and like make time for sports and friends and family and work and stuff. And then I think OHS for me has been very similar in that I think they do a really good job of trying to, make classes flexible. They give us Fridays, for clubs and for having a life, which I love.
That's super nice.
Yeah. So I think they also have a similar, I don't know, like way of letting you figure out what your priorities are and then just trust that you'll do your homework in between. But yeah, I'm curious about what you
I actually agree about that. About most of it. I think the main part for me that's different from homeschooling and online schooling is basically having such a big school community, and also the opportunity to do clubs, because I never had that before. If I wanted to do a club, I had to somehow make one and try to get like other homeschoolers involved, but that's not as easy as it sounds. Right. So yeah, I've been homeschooled since I was I think the only school I did was in preschool. So ever since then, I've been homeschooled, and yes, it's very self-driven, and it's like you have to do everything basically on your own. You have to motivate your own self to pursue things, because it's not like you're in school. You choose what you want to do. But yeah, so I agree with that. Like OHS is also kind of self-driven and motivated in that way, but it also has a lot more structure, and I love that. I don't know. There's just, the big thing is the community. I've never had that before, and it's.
But also, homeschooling didn't have drama. I don't know. I think that comes with the big community. I didn't realize.
It does. Yeah, it comes hand in hand for sure. That's like another thing we can, like, if you have some drama.
Oh, it's like really funny because I've had.
This turns into like a tea room.
Exactly. I've had some homeschooling drama with like the community I was in. But when I came to OHS, I'd never experienced any drama, so I guess I'm kind of lucky in that way.
Nice.
We need to like hear about this homeschool drama sometime.
Oh no, it's a long story. I think it's probably a story for another time, to be honest.
That's gonna take an entire podcast.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, I'll share eventually.
Let's go to you.
Yeah. So this is my first year full-time at OHS, and actually my first year at OHS in general. So before I switched to Stanford Online High School, I was at a private school in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But as Chloe mentioned, I'm a figure skater, and that requires a lot of traveling, and Arkansas isn't a huge place to figure skate or start skating. So I had to, most of my life, travel to Chicago, and right now I'm training in Colorado a lot more. So that's the main reason why I switched to Stanford Online High School full time. And from going from a private school to an online school that has a rigorous course load, it's definitely a hit in the face, but I do enjoy it now. The first semester was a little tough, getting used to everything and all the homework and lecture-based classes. But now I've gotten used to it, and I'm actually enjoying all of my classes quite a bit. So I'm really happy I switched to Stanford Online High School, and the clubs are great. And as Sophie mentioned quite a bit, the community is a really big part of OHS, and you can always find someone like you or someone who's passionate about something just as much as you are. So it's really cool. Yeah. And in Arkansas, I can never really find a lot of figure skaters in my community, but at OHS, there are quite a few figure skaters. There's a lot of different athletes, and even people who aren't athletes, they're involved in art or writing. So it's a really cool community.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting how many athletes there are.
Yeah.
I definitely
Me too.
do. Like, it totally makes sense if you think about it, because I understand now that you guys travel so much that the flexible schedule is easier. Yeah. But I don't know, even though I've been homeschooled and I'm doing online school, I still have a little bit of those like general stereotypes in my head, like I can't help it. So I'm like, oh, not athletic, or like stay in the house.
We're just dumb jocks,
because that describes
right?
me. Like I do sports, but not like competitively like you guys. So it's interesting to see. Like, I think a huge part of this community is like really competitive athletes, which is has been cool to kind of see.
Yeah, athletics have been a major part of my life, so it's really nice. And I think in the homeschooling community, at least the one I've been in, I haven't seen many athletes. And I think the reason why is because, and I think that's also kind of a con with Stanford Online High School, is that there's no sports program. Like in high school, people do high school sports and varsity teams very like competitively, and it's a big part of their life. But the reason why I don't see many athletes in the homeschool community is because we have to take an entire season off in high school when high school season runs. So it's really nice to see it in Stanford Online. There's like athletes there. Yeah. But again, the only thing that Stanford Online High School doesn't give me is a sports team. But I do play on a club, and I do have other outlets for that.
Here's a fun fact. We actually have a baseball team.
We do?
We do?
What? I did not know that.
Like, I think like 2 years back or something, they were promoting, saying like, come join the, like, and they had a meetup for this as well, for like in the Bay Area. They had a baseball team. And like what else?
I did not know that. That's actually so cool.
Yeah, so if you ever want to join,
I'm looking it up. That's really interesting.
You can join that. But like,
that's so cool.
For our like physical, we do have PE requirements, so like physical exercise requirements. That's the closest thing we have to probably a sports team that's mandatory.
Oh, so how does the PE work in Stanford Online High School? I'm single course.
You don't I was curious about that too.
I think
I'm single course. I think only full-time course students have to do it.
Yeah, Sophie, they don't care about our Sophie might get away with it.
Oh, well, like, for me and Pooja, we have to write a reading... Wait, Pooja, you have to write it too, right?
I haven't done anything yet, but I think since I've spent half of my high school at a brick-and-mortar school, my PE credits should have already transferred to OHS, because I already got PE credits from my other school because they counted figure skating as an athletic credit. But
I see.
I don't know if OHS does requires athletics every year, or if it's just one time in your high school career, if that's what they do. I guess I have to look into that. But
I don't know. Okay, so let me explain. For us as a full-time student, obviously they want to make sure you're not just like sitting on your butt getting fat. They have like this PE log thing, so which means like you have to write up. It looks somewhat like a calendar, but you have to write up how many hours running, or you went rowing, or you trekked a mountain or something, and you just log all of that. In all honesty, I've had a lot of friends who just like make it up and like put it on there. But,
I like the honesty.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Yeah, it's a really weird thing for us. So we have the thing called a PE log. But like for people who are like athletes that we were talking about, it's obviously no problem for them because they just count the sport as everything.
Right.
I remember sports just being really frustrating when I was homeschooled. I don't know if anything would change now that it's online school. I don't know if that gives me like some sort of protection or something, but I remember not being allowed to like try out for a lot of teams
Wait,
because I was homeschooled.
really?
That's interesting.
Like club teams?
And it's specific to it's specific to Connecticut. Is we have a lot of really dumb laws of preventing homeschoolers from partaking in like community activities.
That is so sad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't imagine my life without athletics.
I live in a super I live in a super small town, and it's super rural. So like the nearest club that I could go to was like 40 minutes away. Wow. So I don't know if online school might like help that out, but I know that was definitely a kind of homeschooling too. So it's not specific.
I feel really bad that
OHS.
your state has a law like that. I mean, I tried really hard to try out for the high school team because I thought, I live in the area, I pay taxes. Hopefully there's some way I could try out, but they have really strict guidelines on homeschoolers specifically because I don't know the entire story because they would never tell me, but apparently they had a problem with a homeschooler on that team, so ever since then, they would not allow homeschoolers on high school teams. So kind of sad.
That's
but
ridiculous. I think sometimes one of the problems might be, you know how like kids who are in public or even private schools, when they're on the sports teams, they're required to keep their grades up to a certain level. I think it's a lot harder to benchmark that for homeschool students. So probably like the state got a whiff of some kid who's like illiterate and on a sport team and homeschooled and decided just to avoid it. But OHS teaches us how to read, so maybe that's better.
We have our pros and cons. Like, what do you guys think are like the cons, I guess?
Well, I mean, for me, since I'm only single course and it's my first time, the literally only con I see compared to like a brick and mortar school to me is sports, because for me the social life is pretty good. It's been an improvement on homeschool life. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I don't have many cons about the school.
Aww.
Thanks, OHS.
You guys should pay me.
Perfect. I agree. Like OHS, I would also fully endorse. I think for me, one of the things is it's not even like it's not even a bad thing. It's just something that's been an obstacle for me. Is that everyone is really smart.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge
I feel that.
Like it's so nice to be able to like talk to people and have like really engaging conversations. But it's tough because, like I said, like super small rural town. I was kind of used to being like big fish in a small pond, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice, I think, to be able to see it. Like it's really difficult to figure out who the smartest person in a room is. You know, like you can't do that. And I think it's really good that it teaches you not to do that. But I think it's kind of competitive sometimes.
I agree.
Totally.
I've noticed that everyone I've met here is like super talented in some aspect, and honestly I commend them for that. But and it's not like they ever like rub it in my face. No, everyone here is like so nice. It's amazing. But it can develop sort of a competitive environment because you also are pushed to like, okay, maybe I need to up my game.
And I don't mean competitive, right? I don't mean it in the sense of like people putting each other down. Like honestly, every person in my class has gone above and beyond to like try to catch me up to date.
So
and, like,
nice.
The
people I've met
here,
here, so nice.
Yeah, like save my grade.
It is. It's like,
but
it's a unique thing.
I think competitive it's kind of like a more what's the word? I don't know, like a little bit more shadowy, I guess. Like, not really something that's intentional, but more just like everyone wants to be the best.
I read a lot
of
interviews for students on the Pixel Journal, and I was just honestly amazed at every single person there because they're doing amazing things in their life at such a young age. This school has a lot of great people.
It's amazing. Yeah. But
Yeah.
as you guys said, it's definitely competitive. You get that competitive vibe, but it's not in your face. It's kind of like seeing what they've done pushes you to do more yourself. And I think that's a great thing about this school. But yeah, I do think that sometimes it could get overwhelming. But for me, I feel like it's just pushed me to become better or become the best version of myself, which is great for anyone, I think. But
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say,
That's
I
great.
completely agree. I feel like I've also had some not like competition. It's just I felt the push to be better, both in my homeschool life and also in Stanford Online High School, especially. And I think it's honestly making me a better person. It's making me want to push myself more, do more stuff, and help more people. And it's truly a great thing. But I agree about the environment it sort of fosters, which is a bit intimidating. But
once you get
everywhere
used to
can
it,
have
it's
it.
very,
Yeah.
What about you, Chloe? You've known the school the longest.
Yeah, well, I guess when you're here for that long, probably the only con I can think of is the distance part, but that only probably applies to like international students. If you're like, I mean, I completely agree with everything else. Like everything else about the school is like pretty much really good. Like they cater for pretty much everything that you can think of that might pose as a problem in all other online schools that they failed to do. But yeah, like everything's there. Our curriculum's there. Everything, like they take care of like the community with like these clubs that we have. They allow you to make friends quite easily too. The only distance, like I said, is distance because all my friends are in America.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that easy for me to like just hop on a plane and see you guys. So that's probably the only thing that you have to be mentally strong about is just being able to like, I don't know, tolerate seeing your friends on the computer screen all the time.
Yeah.
The fact that you only get to
it's
like
everything is a long distance relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like everyone here, we all live in different areas.
But the great thing,
it's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
The great thing about OHS is that they also have meetups. So I went to summer at Stanford and homecoming, which were two of the bigger events that Stanford has. And I got to actually see my classmates in person and actually in the summer meet the people who would be my classmates, which was pretty cool. But some of the people who I hadn't met at summer at Stanford, when I saw them for the first time at homecoming, the height difference was astounding. Like,
like when you first meet your teachers as well, like sometimes they appear like shorter than you think, or like they're really tall.
Or tall.
It's like so surreal.
That was one of the first things people said to me. They're like, "Oh, you're shorter than I thought you would be."
Wait, for some reason, Haven, I just picture you as like sort of taller.
I pictured you taller, when I saw
you. Like,
wait, how tall
I don't know
are you?
It's because I stand really close to the camera, so it's like.
So you like look intimidating to the camera.
That's probably why.
Yeah, actually, similar experience. I went to Pixel Fest, and I knew some people in my HSC class that came, and it took me like a good 5 seconds before I realized that I knew these people. It was like this girl's like, I know you, and I'm like, really? And then I had to look at her name tag, and I felt so bad because then I was oh my god, how did I not see this?
Like I met Sophie at Pixel Fest as well, and like the thing is, like I didn't recognize her because she has purple hair, and I never.
Oh, not anymore, sadly.
Oh, like before and that time she had purple hair, so like she
I didn't know.
I was like texting her, and she was like, "Come to this room," and I'm like, "I'm here. Where are you?" And she's like,
"That sounds creepy."
Yeah, it's totally not creepy. But like she was saying, like, "I'm in this auditorium. Like, come here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. Where are you?" She's like, "I'm sitting." I'm like, and I see this girl with purple hair. Like go around and see if it's
like,
her.
No, you're not.
And I'm like, is that you? And she's like, oh, hi. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Sophie. And like, I was like, wow, okay, actually, you're taller than I thought. So,
oh, really? That is so nice.
Yeah, it was a really weird experience.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Meeting people for the first time. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I went to the homecoming too. And it was really interesting to see that online school also, like, one of the things that was interesting to me was that online school also has like public school cliques.
Oh
yeah,
they do.
That is so true.
And I didn't ever I consider that, I guess, which was like dumb.
Yeah.
But
We have, like,
it was interesting to see like that they're like different groups, and I was like, oh, like it's the same anywhere.
I didn't expect that it would be so much, like there would be so much of a similarity between the two, but there is. I was so surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it like popularity.
What do you think the biggest
groups,
similarity is?
I think.
Sorry.
I don't think like, how would you call it? Like, we do call it like those cliques, right? But it's not like popularity kind of thing.
It's not like you can
feel like
freely
it's just
join
with
any.
Wouldn't
like,
it be like just basically you stick with your friends and I guess you're just more comfortable with your friends because it's not like you've seen your entire like school community in person before. It's everything's online, so you kind of just stick with the people you know. I think.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that there's a lot of friendships that kind of like transcend grades. You know, like I've seen. Like I know a lot of seniors are like really close to like sophomores or stuff like that.
Or even freshmen.
Like not creepy. I didn't feel like that. But it's cool because I think in public schools, like you're very like stratified based on grade.
It doesn't happen.
So it's kind of more difficult to like reach out and form relationships with like other people. I mean, but I think there's something really valuable, and you know.
Yeah.
Another thing, like good thing to add as well for our school is that our classes are not based on grade level. Our classes are based on skill level. So you could be a freshman,
right,
and like be placed in my AP calculus class, and like that's happened. Like if you are in OHS, you'd be surprised to see like how many like 11-year-olds are in like
there's an 8th grader in my AP Calc BC class.
Oh my God.
That just does not happen in private school or public school, but OHS it does. No. Only at OHS.
Yeah,
so, like, just not that big of a jump. I think in public school maybe like a grade level, maybe if they allow it, but not that big of a jump.
Yeah, not that big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like that's probably why our friendships also are like really they're not stratified, like Haven said, through like our grade levels and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it gives us, you know, that open mindset too, right? It should be a natural thing, in all honesty, to be friends with whoever the hell you want, not just by grade level, right?
It's fun too.
Yeah, it's cool
when you talk to someone through. We have Skype chats usually that we create, like Calc BC Skype chats or a bulletin Skype chat. But when you reach out to someone over Skype, you don't really know how old they are or what they look like. So yeah, it also gets rid of that border, and you can just talk freely to whoever you're talking to. And then when you meet them in person, you can kind of figure out what grade they're in and how old they are.
Yeah, I think the online platform does get rid of a lot of preconceived biases, and it's not like you can. People don't really know what you're wearing, how old you are, it's just they don't, and it's kind of nice. I really like that.
Yeah. It's just like,
and even the younger kids are also, I think, tend to be more mature because they're driven. Not super mature. I'll give them that. I'll give them their time to grow up. My little sister's a sophomore that started this year, so I'm, you know, I see what's going on, and those kind of underclassmen levels. It's kind of fun. But I think that they're, you know, they handle it well. Being a part of this.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like,
I wonder what the stress was like. Sorry, Chloe. I just for the kids like who started in middle school and then moved up. I'd be curious about that.
Like how our
like,
stress. Works?
Yeah, like how you handle that. I guess. Yeah, as like at such a young age.
Well, I think like being a lot, because like it takes a lot of those like preconceived. I don't know what you'd call it, like those intimidations that normally you might face in person.
Right.
Just being a small person walking into a room of big people, like just that feeling, right? It takes all that away. The fact that people are also just like really positive online, and like whether that's fake or not, that's like a different thing.
Right.
But, you know, it does help in terms of like, if it's fake, well then it's fake, but it's still positive and it helps like.
But it's still
positive nonetheless, right? So it helps you like blend into that a bit better. They should get a lot more credit. The teachers are like, I think me, they're the sole energy of the class. Like it could be the most interesting class ever. Like another fun fact for you guys who are in OHS, our classes are a lot philosophy based. So we have a lot of like philosophy stuff, which I think is a unique thing. I don't know about like other schools, but yeah, for us it is.
That really surprised me going.
I didn't have a philosophy class at my old
these
school.
core classes, when I was looking into it, I was like really confused because I've never seen any school offer this.
Yeah.
So like,
so the teachers are all like huge nerds. Love
yeah.
philosophy.
I mean, like, yeah, so when we have like the philosophy classes, right, they could be super interesting, but if your teachers is like boring as a brick, right, it's not gonna translate very well, and like so it's definitely the teachers who like deserve the most credit for like in making the students feel welcome. Like one of my favorite teachers, Miss Talk, probably a lot of like the people in OHS know her. She was my first teacher in this class called GPO1, which is just inquiry-based physics. She's like the most loveliest person ever. She has so much energy and like just so much positive energy. So like being lucky to have a teacher like her and be introduced to the school is like I think it's the easiest way to like become accustomed to everything, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think the teachers also do a really good job of like caring about the students and really paying attention to your individual needs.
Yeah.
Like I know one of my teachers this year, Dr. Kerr, it has been so great in that like I missed like 2 classes in a row once, and he emailed me after, not to like, you know, reprimand me or anything, but just to like check up on me and see if I was okay and if like he could help with anything. And that meant a lot because it's just showing that like they're invested in you, not just as a student, but like as a person. And as a first year senior, like they really have very little reason to invest in me at all. So it was, they did a great job in making me feel welcome.
I've had a similar experience as well with all my classes, but specifically my chemistry class where we have to do labs at home. But when I'm traveling and I don't have access to my lab kit, Dr. DeMello, my chem teacher, is so lenient with giving us extensions, and he's just really nice about that stuff, and he's understanding. So that's a great thing about the teachers. They're not only passionate, but they're understanding about what students have to do in their situation.
Yeah. A weird thing here, Pooja, like when you're in hotel room, because like I didn't do chem labs, I did physics labs. Do you like take random things from your hotel room to like make the lab? Because that's like what I did. I did like my physics lab out of like tea bags and like dental floss in my hotel room. No
resourcefulness right there.
Actually, no, I've done all my labs, like wherever I have my lab kit.
Which was like, no.
I haven't had
like I would never do that.
I mean, one time I had to do a chromatography lab, and I just had to buy food dye because that was what I needed, and I didn't need my lab kit for the other equipment. But for the most part, I've just asked Dr. DeMello for an extension, and sometimes it had to be 2 weeks, but he was understanding about that. So when I got back, I just completed the lab. But that's interesting. I haven't heard of anyone doing that before.
I mean, I have like a lot more stories like that. I've like made paper speakers out of like random stuff in my hotel room.
Wow.
Or like I've gotten kebab sticks from the canteen that all the tennis players had to stay at.
That's amazing.
I was like in the middle, like, it was in the middle of nowhere. But
the problem with chemistry, I think, is that it's hard to find the chemicals that I need to actually do some of the experiments. But
that's true, yeah.
Probably
especially without going on like FBI watch list.
Oh yeah. People will be like, are you making a bomb or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's, I think we should maybe like stop here.
A wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I have to go eat.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed listening to us talking, catching up, then make sure to tune in for our next episode next week, I guess, probably.
It's just like listening to us basically get to know each other, which is kind of cool.
I love listening to
us.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. So, yeah, this is just a taste of what pretty much most of our episodes will be like. Very laid back, very chill. We'll probably talk, I don't know. You guys want to talk about coronavirus next week?
Yes, I would love to.
Actually. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a big thing right now.
I coughed today.
Like the whole like Skype just shook. It's like, get away from me. Yeah, so I guess tune in for coronavirus next week.
Yeah.
Sounds
good.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.